Good day, my friends. Here we go yet again with another story, yet again, to exemplify how woke is alive and well, and they're not going to stop, even if it kills another brand. Cracker Barrel, Bud Light, Harley Davidson, they tried, and now it's Victoria's Secret. Now, when I say Victoria's Secret, the question you should be asking is, what about Les Wexner? What about his connection to Epstein? We'll talk about that a little bit later. But I wanted to remind you of this and bring you up to speed as to this story. And my friends, I say welcome. Thank you for joining us here live on Lionel Nation. Make sure you always remain subscribed, because when I do these lives, it may be right now with not a lot of warning, so to speak. So that's why subscribing, hitting that little bell so you're notified of live live streams, and new videos are important. Let me also tell you right now, before we begin, people have been asking, people have been absolutely making headway, running to the great people at preparedwithlionel.com. I don't know what you're thinking. We're talking about more hurricanes. They're bringing masks up. They're not going away, ladies and gentlemen. They're planning something, and they are pissed off. And the powers that be, the shadow government, the deep state, whatever you want to call it, they hate the fact that Trump is being so successful. They hate the fact that basically they removed all mandatory vaccines in Florida. So they're going to get you where it hurts. Today, Mrs. L and I were in Costco because my coffee maker broke down, and it was tragic. And I was looking, what if all of these doors were just locked one day? Just locked. Because of problems, because of riots, because of back orders, because insurance companies said, close the doors. Trader Joe's, Acme, Publix, wherever you want. It takes one little hiccup in the supply chain to screw this thing up. So, ladies and gentlemen, patriots, hear me now and listen to me. Whenever something is like this disaster, you are on your own, okay? No FEMA, no politicians, no Trump, no MAGA, no nothing, no left, no right, no Mamdani, no Biden, no Vance, nobody, no FEMA, no politician, no bureaucrat. Nobody will be able to save you. We've seen it. Just take fires. What they do for fires? Katrina, East Palestine, California wildfires, LA, Maui's. They make promises, but they don't deliver. That's why I am telling you, I am beseeching, entreating, imploring you to go to my good friends at My Patriot Supply and use our special Lionel Nation link at preparedwithlionel.com. And right now they're offering a 3-month emergency food kit that gives you over 2,000 calories a day. Try doing this with an MRE at a hunting store. 22 meal varieties like you cannot believe that lasts over 25 years. Water resistant, beautiful modular bucket. You buy it now, set it, and forget it, as a great Ron Popeil would say. Right now, if you order right now, go to preparedwithlionel.com. You get 4 extra weeks free, a $247 value. So don't wait. Go to preparedwithlionel.com. Protect your family, secure your future. Be ready, not desperate. Preparewithlionel.com. Thank you, dear friends. I'm looking out for you. You will be so glad you did. Now let's talk about the latest iteration of stupidity that we can't figure out. Nobody can figure out. I don't understand why they're doing it. But the reason why is we don't care about Victoria's Secret. I don't care really about Cracker Barrel. I mean, it's nice. I don't care about Bud Light. But I care about what it means and what's happening in the long run. And this is the part that's the most important. This is the most critical, ladies and germs. This is what I am bringing to your attention. This is what I want you to know and be aware of. Listen to me very, very carefully. What is happening right now is something very interesting. And to put it into perspective, you know, Victoria's Secret was once the gold standard. It's true, of fantasy and allure. Les Wexner, Epstein, It was all his. And the annual fashion show was more than just, lingerie on a runway. It was a cultural event. I mean, a ratings juggernaut, launching pad for household names now like Heidi Klum and Giselle Bundchen, Adriana Lima. I don't know who these people are. Lima, I'm not sure about. But the point is, men tuned in, women envied the glamour, and other. It was something. It was something. But now Victoria's Secret is fighting for relevance in a world where its brand has been, as you can imagine, hijacked yet again by somebody else. Hijacked by some ESG mandate. Somebody, maybe BlackRock, Vanguard, who knows, who basically are telling them, we don't care what you think about your brand. We don't care if it tanks. Again, we're asking, why are they doing this? Because the message, my friend, is very, very simple. And I want you to listen to what I'm saying. Nothing is going to get in the way of their message. They want to destroy everything. Kids, families, gender, everything. This was, again, whether you like it or not, it was Victoria's Secret. Even at the malls, it was something. They sold nothing and they made a fortune. And the catalog, the Victoria's Secret catalog, who was the catalog for? Men? No, women. Because women were told, you will look like this if you buy this thing. Brilliant marketing, brilliant. And it was women, mostly white. Occasionally, there were a few exotics, they were called, which is their prerogative. But you know and I know, it was for white women and South Africans and Germans and Lithuanians and white women. You got that? That's the way it was. That's another reason why. And the annual show was that this was their Super Bowl. And I'm telling people, it's more than lingerie. Forget what I think. I think all of that is stupid. I don't understand fancy underwear. Hello? Nobody sees it, but that's me. I'm not your person. But I will tell you, it was a cultural event. Ratings went crazy. People went nuts. It went nuts. The angel, this became a global, whether you like it or not, I don't care. People say, I don't care. Whatever. But now Victoria's Secret is fighting for relevance, for their existence in a world where its brand has been hijacked and sullied yet again by the same cultural forces that took down Bud Light, Disney, and every other company desperate to prove its woke ESG credentials. And the latest example, the promo ad for the Victoria's Secret Fashion Show 2025. On Tuesday, the brand dropped what should have been a head-turning teaser, right? 6 angels were introduced with their names splashed across X. I don't know who Adriana Lima, okay? Alex Consani. This is like hearing the new SNL lineup. Who are these people? Anouk Yai, Joan Smalls, Lily Aldridge, Yumi New. Nothing unusual at first glance, but buried in that lineup was one glaring addition, Alex Consani, a transgender model, with no acknowledgement of the fact. A dude, a man. Transgender, no, a man. Social media caught it immediately. Comments poured in. Where are Candace, Dutson, Daniela, and Alessandra? The only blonde you have pictured is Alex, who is a dude, people are yelling. Others noted bluntly that a biological male had taken the place of a female model. and what was once the ultimate, this was what they billed it as, their words, not mine, the ultimate female fantasy showcase. And what should have been hyped for a comeback show or something became another lightning rod for a brand accused of playing bait and switch politics with its consumers. They're killing their own brand. They're mocking it. This is supposed to be for women, not costume, camouflage, cami wear in the battle of whatever. This isn't an isolated move. It's part of a years-long pivot away from the Victoria's Secret that built an empire and that people got, and towards this awkward politicized version of itself, trying to please ESG Wall Street activists who were never going to buy its products anyway. Let me say this again. Do you think most trannies can even fit into this stuff? What are you talking about? Remember that feller Ed Razik? He's the former chief marketing officer. Back in 2018, he said flat out in an interview that he didn't believe transsexuals belonged, is what he called them, belonged in the annual fashion show. His reasoning? The show was about fantasy, about the classic ideal of the supermodel angel, okay? The backlash was immediate and ferocious. Within a year, he resigned. Razik was out, citing not just his controversial comments, but also his alleged ties to Jeffrey Epstein, which is another story. That opened the floodgates. Victoria's Secret, already struggling with the decline of sales and growing competition from brands. I could give you the names like I know them. I don't know them. Have you heard of Savage X Fenty? I don't know what the hell that is. Okay. Rihanna. Okay, I don't know. Anyway, leaning hard into the diversity, inclusion, and woke signaling. But by 2024, the fashion show featured two transgender models, Kansani and Valentina Sampaio, a direct reversal and to Razik's position. So now in 2025, here we are. The company is doubling down, like usual, not just including Kansani again, but attempting to slip the casting into the lineup without fanfare, almost as if to normalize it. Do you imagine that? And to critics, it looks sneaky, manipulative, tone deaf. Consumers see it as another example of a company pretending nothing's different while everyone you see plainly is going on. We know. But again, why? We don't remember. People are going to say, I don't care about Victoria's Secret. That's not the point. The problem isn't about representation per se. It's about trust, but also slipping into the market. Victoria's Secret built its empire on a very specific promise, right? Hyper feminine, glamorous, aspirational beauty. You can look like this. These are women who, yes, who's this trans dude? Who is this for? The trans population? You just basically gave a big F you to your audience, and they don't care because they're told, we don't care if you lose billions. Woke is here to say. Its audience was women who wanted to buy into the lifestyle, men, I guess, who wanted to gift it, or I don't know. But the angels were symbols of that fantasy, that marketing image. Replacing that promise with activism or worse, trying to camouflage it in ads, feels to the people who are involved in this like a betrayal of the brand's DNA. And the parallels to Bud Light are, obvious. Bud Light thought it could casually slip in this Dylan Mulvaney, that weird, creepy thing as a brand ambassador. Remember that? Quietly tuck the campaign and other stuff into the marketing stream, and nobody would notice. It'd be great. People noticed and went berserk. And when they did, they felt mocked, dismissed, replaced, sales collapsed. A single campaign torched a century-old beer empire. Why? Victoria's Secret should be paying attention. Its sales have already been sliding for 4 years. And the brand lost its dominance in lingerie. It's overtaken by, I guess, smaller, savvier competitors who knew how to target and appeal to women without alienating their base. I mean, the fashion show itself, once one of the biggest TV spectacles. Imagine your brand is a media event. It was canceled in 2019 after ratings fell through the floor. And that's something. And the return in 2024 was supposed to be a reset. Instead, it risks being remembered as the moment the brand went full Bud Light. So look, here's the bottom line. Here's why this is important. Victoria's Secret can't have it both ways. Les Wexner, it can't trade on nostalgia, reviving, names associated with the classic golden era. Remember, there was this thing years ago. There was the Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition. Remember that? It was brilliant marketing. What the hell does a swimsuit edition have to do with Sports Illustrated? Just like Playboy did Girls of the Northwest, Girls of the South, of the Pac-10 or whatever. But what they did was they slipped into ideological castings that now contradict the entire point of the show. So either it's a fantasy built around female glamour, or it's an activist runway. What is it going to be? You can't straddle the two worlds, and pleases no one. Now, for longtime fans of the brand, and I guess you're there, the message is clear. Victoria's Secret no longer sells aspiration; it sells politics, and a big F you to everybody else. And consumers are pushing back. Social media users are going berserk. They're not whispering their criticism. Social media changed everything. TikTok, Instagram, everything, Twitter, X. Every time the company makes a move like this, the hashtags start trending. And the brand becomes less about lingerie and more about controversy. And if you do that, this is a definite kind of a sell order, dare I say. Now, the irony is this. The women Victoria's Secret thinks it's alienating, the ones supposedly, offended by skinny blondes with wings, right? Women, they were never its core customers to begin with. So who cares what they think? The women who actually bought Victoria's Secret lingerie and the men who, I guess, bought it for them or liked it are the ones walking away now. Your core audience. White, Europe, go down the list, say it. White women. And now there were black women as well, and women of color who said there were women again sidelined. You never see women trying to slip into men's bodybuilding. It doesn't work because they can't do it. You never see women trying to slip into the NBA because they have no talent. They suck. These folks are sick of being gaslit into thinking that their discontent is bigotry and racism, when in reality it's brand betrayal. You went away from the brand. So here's the multi-million-dollar question. Can Victoria's Secret defy the go woke, go broke curse? Or will it go the way of Bud Light and Target and every other company that put ideology ahead of customers? Think about it. The early signs aren't good. See, you can't sneak transgender models into your Angels lineup. It's almost like you're saying, I don't want you to know this. There's no way to say, what are you doing? You can't pretend nothing happened. And you can't do this and not expect backlash. You can't erase the very thing that made your brand iconic in the first place. And you can't and somehow think that nostalgia will save you. And you can't alienate your core audience and expect the activists who don't buy, let me say this again, who don't buy this stuff, who don't buy tickets, who don't buy this, whatever they sell, and don't care about the brand. You can't expect them to fill the gap. And Victoria's Secret had one of the most powerful brands in modern retail history. It was incredible. But right now, instead of wings and glamour or whatever the hell it is, it's selling woke. What it's selling looks a lot like confusion and manipulation and slow motion collapse. And this is another example of this. This is the critical thing. Now, when you tell people, folks, or you tell people this, again, a lot of people, the first thing you do is to say, I don't care about it. Why people do this, I don't know. A friend of mine told me years ago, Budweiser was basically white males. Bush, maybe not Bud Light, but Bush was more for black ethnic crowds. Did you know that? They knew the targeted audience. When it comes to selling things, you got to remember something. They absolutely, positively will never, ever, ever care about getting it wrong. In the old days, they knew who their target was. They knew exactly what it was. And what Harley Davidson, oh my God. Imagine NASCAR, go down the list. It's everybody knows what this is about. So what we're seeing right now is yet again another example. And we're asking, why are we doing this? And the question you should be asking is, okay, this is stupid. Why are people doing it? What is happening? Where does this thing work? Who is pushing them to basically commit product suicide? How is this happening? How? That's the part. This is how dangerous these people are. And if you think they're going away, you're not paying attention. Now, I want to say one thing quickly about Epstein, and I want you to understand this and grasp this and put it somewhere for you to understand. You're going to be hearing a lot about it today. Big stuff. Big talk about what's going on and people marching. Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, could release every name, interview, police report, 302, whatever the FBI report is, she could do it. You don't need to go to Congress. You don't need to go to Congress. But you're also basically risking, and this is the most important part, you're risking people who said, I didn't want you to mention my name. I didn't want you. Why are you doing this? Why are you mentioning my name? Why are you telling people who I am? What is the purpose of this? What if somebody says, hey, don't mention me. I gave you some name. I'm Mr. Gardner on Pervert Island. I don't want to be named. They'll threaten my family. You told me you wouldn't mention. Oh, no, you don't understand. We got to report the list because somebody on cable news wants your name removed. What? Somebody on cable news wants your name released. And we have, the hell with it with cable. It's just like you don't want to, look what they did to Willie Boy Johnson. You don't want to let people know who these people are, reveal their names, tell people that they're confidential informants. So understand, it's Pam Bondi. You don't need to go to Congress. I don't know what Trump's talking about. I don't know what he's talking about. So we'll talk more about that later in the meantime. I think most people, do you agree with me? Aren't you kind of Epsteined out? Big Dickie Daniels says they're going to turn it into a 9/11 report. You are so correct, Dickie. Absolutely, positively. Or another 9/11, another Kane Lee Hamilton, and the governor. What's his name? Kane, the governor of New Jersey. Anyway, Tom Kane. Remember that one? It went nowhere. Warren report. Just go down the list. You're absolutely right. So remember, Pam Bondi's got everything there is. She's in charge. Kash Patel has every. You don't need to go to a grand jury. Why are you passing the buck? And why is Congress not pointing out the people's names who really are responsible for that? Okay? All right, my friends. Listen, remember, thank you for following Lynn's Warriors. It is terrific. She has got some of the best stuff I mean it. And they have made it a point, I don't know what it is, I'm not just saying this, to absolutely just, I don't know, shut her down by demise. But she's not going anywhere, and we're not going anywhere. And don't forget, my friends, go to preparewithlionel.com, secure your free 4-week emergency food kit. Please. This is about you and your family. It's not just about food. It's about power. It's about generators. It's about what? It's about things and everything you need. Okay? You got me? You got me? Very important. Very important. All right, dear friends. Thank you so very much. Have a great and a glorious day. We will see you. Tonight, we'll kick back about 11:30. We do our last show of the day. And then don't forget tonight, 1 to 5, on overnights on WABC. Did you hear Mrs. L the other day? Oh, my God. Oh, she's fantastic. On this morning, yeah, I'm so confused. Our coffee maker broke down, and I was heartbroken. We ran to Costco and bought this thing that, oh my, it's planned obsolescence. There's no reason why a coffee maker just dies like that. I know what they're doing. But there's one thing, coffee. That's it. That's it. No coffee, no life. All right, dear friends, have a great and a glorious day. Thank you so much, my friends. Make sure you're subscribed to Lionel Nation. And remember, until we meet again, remember these words. The monkey's dead. Show's over. Sue ya. Dad, dad.